Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, uncensored, uncomfortable conversation.
There we go. It's been a long time. All right, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Let me introduce Quan. Also, man, Portia will be in a little later. If I remember correctly, she said what she said? Yeah, it's a little meeting. She had a meeting. Man,
hey, why you put that little on it? You know, black folks would be something else.
Yeah, you already know how it is. I mean, we
a little meeting.
It ain't nothing big. It ain't really that important, but it's, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's been 2 weeks since our last show. And it's been a lot going on. So first of all, as usual, Quan, what you got going on in your world, man? What up?
I have UIL pre-festival tomorrow, and then we have UIL on April 5th. So keep us in your prayers for that. I'm ready to wrap that up. And of course, you know, this is also the season where you're trying to gather and prepare for the fall as well, even in the high school sector. So you're trying to go visit middle schools and trying to build rapport with those band directors and whatnot. And you know, while you try to work on yourself and your own mental health, and you know, it's a lot, bro. Just a lot. But I do want to say this. I do want to say this though. So over spring break, I had a little time to just woosah you, because you told me to. You was like, "Say, bro, leave that alone." So the internet in the area went out, and so you know, I got this big CD case from the early 2000s. I went and cracked it open. And I forgot, man, I used to have the band DVDs on deck. I pulled out 2004 North Carolina A&T. And in the gym battle, I see a familiar brother on the B-tone in the section called Shucky Ducky. And them boys, I said, "That's Chuck." Man, I called Chuck. Chuck said, "That's definitely me." I say, "Look, a pretty hair Chuck on the B-tone, killing it." I'm talking about calling them out. And we ended up talking, and he said he ended up writing one of the trombone fanfares too. Hey, boy, A&T wasn't nothing to play with, bro. Back then, there was like a real talk, like a baby Southern.
I've been saying it, man. Yeah. Back when I was coming through, A&T was the swag band of the me. They were very swag in everything that they did.
They played Torture. They played Washington. I mean, they didn't. Nobody else, from my knowledge, played Washington Post. But like, that's a Miakish thing, you know, with those marches. But they was playing some cranking that neck they played. Yeah, man. The ball was slapping, man.
As a matter of fact, so first of all, let me, because all of these daggone battles run together. Is that the one where? No, I think that was a trombone player, and I don't know if that was A&T or Virginia. I got to go back and look at it. 2004 was that it? Was that an R gym or was that an A&T gym?
I guess A&T because they had a blue tarp on the floor.
I'm gonna go.
But it might. But it kind of looked like Norfolk Gym. You know, I've never been actually, but it looks like it. But hey, but I'm gonna say this: them trombones and them tubas, bruh. Hey, I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at it.
It's not on YouTube though.
It's not.
Nah, I feel special
I'm
because I
looking at
still
it right here. They played Torture, right?
they play a torture. Did they go into the battles though?
Well, it's just they just got the the Torture up here from A&T.
Brother, hey, them boys played that war fanfare that ba 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 da ba da ba. I said, look at Chuck, man.
Hey
If
man,
you,
like I said, it was a different time, man. We just kind of had our own thing. I mean, it just kind of is what it is.
that's what's up, man. I wish I could just revisit one more time.
Man, shoot, if I can go back and do that all over again, trust me, I would. So a lot of stuff has been happening on my end. So I've said it on multiple occasions. I am in the process of, or we were in the process of moving into a new church. So we had to do all of that stuff and put that stuff together. And it's still a major task. So when it comes to last week, so everybody who's watching, when it comes to last week, here is why we didn't have a show. One of the reasons why, the reason why we didn't have a show is because aside from the fact that I had gotten burnt out from dealing with all that we're dealing with moving in and dealing with the church and the AV and all that kind of stuff, dealing with new lighting situations and new audio and a new system and running it all. Man, my uncle passed away, man, and it was we had just opened our church that Sunday. And then on that Sunday, my mom was coming down because she wanted to come to the opening of the church. And then when my mama got to the crib, and all of a sudden she told me that her brother passed away as soon as she pulled up in the driveway. So we had to make an immediate trip to Houston. And so it wasn't last week just wasn't a good week. I'm gonna put it to you that way. So yeah, that's why we didn't have a show last week. I was gearing up to have one, and then I texted the group and I was like, hey man, we ain't no show this week, bro. We good. So everybody had a Wednesday off. So that's why we weren't there. That's what happened last week. But let me tell you some news that I got. I want to say about three of them days ago, man. So last week, or no, what's today? Wednesday. I think it was this past weekend. I get a call from one of my good friends, man, one of my brothers, DJ Custom. If y'all don't, those who are from the MEAC area in Norfolk, they know who he is. And he hips me to some game, and I want to share it. I told him I was going to share this game with y'all because y'all need to know. Paul I. Adams, a GOAT in the community as far as it pertains to the marching band sector, as far as it pertains to music and education, all of that. GOAT. Paul I. Adams is one who will have a conversation with you and he'll tell you so much stuff that it'll go in and it'll be like, yeah, all right, man, whatever. Like, okay. Because he'll feed you so much information that you really think that some of that stuff be like on a completely different level. Like, bro, I don't know if I believe you on this one, right? So my boy calls me and he's like, bro, Mr. Adams told me a few times before that he was, a part of a rap group. So I was like, all right, cool, right? The story is going somewhere. So I text my cousin who's from Baton Rouge, and I text Quan, who's from New Orleans, because I had to try to fact check this just to see, right? And so I said, hey, have you ever heard of a hip hop group that came out of Baton Rouge named Reality? They both said no, never heard of them. All right, cool. So then my boy goes to tell me that there is a documentary. I think he said it was on Hulu that's talking about Louisiana music or Louisiana hip hop, and they talk about the past music. One of the guys on there brings up a group named Reality. And in the midst of this conversation, and I didn't watch it, this is what my boy said. In the midst of this conversation, he says, he's talking about it, and they're talking about the music they put together, and they say Paul Adams. And then so my boy was like, nah, that can't happen. And then he says Paul Adams again. So he calls me and he's like, yo, have you ever heard of a group named Reality? And so I was like, no, I haven't. So long story short, he comes to me. He's like, yo, they mentioned Paul Adams twice. And I know he done told me that he was a part of a rap group. But, I don't be believing him because he Mr. Adams will say he'll fly one day. Mr. Adams, I will tell you like this. Mr. Adams, I heard that he made up the Flash on 8. I heard that he made up a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. So we just be like, all right, cool. Right? So here it is. I get to looking. And I was looking. And sure enough, there is a group named Reality. It says, I think the album is called Missing Kids. Here it is. I'm gonna put it up on the screen in a second because I have to make sure I verify. It says arranged by P. Adams, music by Paul Adams, musician Paul Adams, producer Paul Adams, written by P. Adams. I'm telling you, I'm about to pull it up. Look, because I know what everybody doing right now. Y'all going to search through. Y'all sitting up here trying to find out, is this real? Y'all ain't even got to do that. I'm going to share the screen for you. So I'm gonna let you see it in real time. Here it is. I'm going to pull it up. Where is it at? Boom. And boom. There it is. Y'all can see it for yourself on the screen, live and in color. There it is. Reality. Missing Kids. The label is Royal Shields Records in 1985. Hip hop, and sure enough, arranged by P. Adams, Paul I. Adams. All right, music by Paul I. Adams, producer Paul I. Adams. I'm telling you, this man Paul Adams was a part of a hip hop group in 1985. He is officially the GOAT. Nothing about Paul Adams. He is the GOAT. Now say something negative about. I'm sorry, you can't say nothing negative about Paul Adams at this point. Mr. Adams done traversed the whole world. He did marching band, jazz, hip hop, everything. I'm sorry, dog. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Hey, bro. He got a knife in his pocket. I'm convinced not. You from Baton Rouge in '85, and you in the rap group. He the inventor of jiggulating. Original jiggulator.
He the original, dog. He the original. Oh, man, listen, when I found this information out, dog, I said I had to bring this up, dog, because this is news. I'm sorry, I should have put, world premiere information or something going across the bottom. Because I'm telling you, this one took me out, dog. I was laughing for at least 30 minutes straight, dog. I'm telling you.
What up, Porsche? She done snuck up in there.
You mean a noun later?
Starburst.
Starburst. It's one of them. They both look alike. Yeah, Starburst.
Hey, bro, the best flavor is pink, though.
Yeah, the pink be hidden. Yeah. Pause.
The pink.
Look, I wasn't thinking about it, but then it just kind of popped up as we said it. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we give Paul Adams flowers. He is the GOAT. He is a hip hop artist of 1985, bro. Group Reality. He got a whole album out there. Portia, what's going on with you, girl? How you been?
Excuse me. I'm good. It's been a long day. Yeah, I'm good. I'm great. I forgot we didn't have a show last week. The week before that, I don't know what was going on, But shout out to all the new NSU Greeks. I don't know how I missed that as a thing, but that's a thing. Like, shout out,
You didn't really miss it. Okay, so I remember.
I didn't really talk about it.
Well, facts. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's a lot of new people. There's TBS, KK Side, Phi Mu Alpha from the band. So shout out to them. I think it was people from the Legion that's in like almost all newer to almost all the D9 orgs. So shout out to them. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that, but I just want to say that the first female drum major is now my double soror. Cause she is Zeta now too. Shout out to her.
I was gonna bring that up on 2 weeks ago, but we had Miss Sanders on here, and I ain't want to bring that up, but not then. So now I understand why she wasn't on the show, why she was in and out. She wasn't going to no jazz.
Oh, she was she was going to a audition. We hadn't started yet.
You hear that, pre-daddy?
No, dog.
Don't go ahead and pick me up a pack of cookies and buy me a dress. I need one.
Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is a non-pledging and non-hazing organization. We don't be doing all that, dog. I be trying to tell y'all.
We've all been trained to say that.
I'm telling you right now, I'm at this point in my life, and y'all can say whatever y'all want to. I got too much to lose at this point. You do something crazy, I tell them every year, I'm gonna throw you right under the bus.
I absolutely. I'm snitching. I'm
telling you right now. Zeta don't pay no bills. It's actually a bill. So no.
I'm telling you right now. If I ever be in that presence anymore, because I was when I was younger, but anymore, yeah, I'm snitching. You're gonna have to catch me like they caught 6ix9ine because it's tight. I don't know if y'all don't know what.
Man, but I feel like that's whack though. I'm gonna be honest.
I ain't gonna lie.
Feel like I'm gonna be real. Like I'm gonna just say it like this, and I'm gonna just keep it 1,000 with y'all. Like we gotta pick and choose. It's like you got people that quote unquote talk about no snitching. Man, I come from that culture. It is what it is. I'm not even about to get into all that. But you got people like Zimmerman that's walking around and ain't nobody touch him. So ain't nobody wiped his nose.
Let's talk about it.
But y'all be hyping about a culture vulture that honestly did what I tell my kids here at Worthing all the time. Until you sit across from a prosecutor and you shackled to a table and they didn't set you in that room with a plastic blanket for 6 hours, and then they throw this paper on here, you ain't even call your mama, and they tell you, say, bro, like real talk, we already got the evidence. Just sign that paper right there, and we'll start your and that's your plea deal, and your plea deal be like 40 years. Until you sit there and you sit down and you walk on a real tier and you become a tier rep, and until you do all of that, don't tell me nothing but no snitching. Because some of y'all ain't built for that prison.
What I'm telling you is I'm not going down for. I done did some stuff in my life I probably should have went down for. But what I'm telling you is at this big age, I'm not going down for no foolishness. I'm telling you right now, I tell them every year, y'all don't do it. Because I'm telling you, if they come and ask me and I find out, I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I can't justify losing my livelihood and my letters at this big age. What I'm going to do?
I'm sorry, this big age, that whole phrase is just funny to me. I don't know why it is.
Where'd it come from?
I don't know, but it is hilarious to me. I don't know.
It fits to me. This is a big age. Okay. I just at this age, I can't. I'm not going down for you. No, sorry.
No, I agree. But didn't they catch that man at the gym though? Like wasn't he at the gym trying to get some swole?
I just feel like that's whack, bro. It's people that has done the black community far worse, and nobody has batted an eye.
But do you know why that is? But do you know why that is?
Let me know.
So there are two ways to look at this, and I know this is going super off the topic, but you know what? We can go there for a second because I just do not mind. One of the reasons is because we still have a superiority complex to the opposite people. We do. We are afraid to get on them That's still master. Let's keep it a buck. I mean, that's just the unfortunate truth. Now the other half of that is these dudes then did that to 6ix9ine. The possibility of them even getting caught or even a law enforcement truly worrying about it is very, very slim. You got a 45% chance of them actually caring about what happened. Do that to a white dude though.
Nah, if y'all think that person is not gonna go to jail, y'all crazy. The dude, if he was in jail at one point, no, but this what I'm saying though is like this dude basically is a paid informant now. Like you touch.
Well, let's talk about the fact that he even still has value is crazy. Because what I'm telling you is, if y'all still dealing with him, I'm sorry.
The dude go overseas and still make millions, bro. Like he ain't got to have another show in the States because I'll just say this and I get off the soapbox. You have a community of people that are fascinated with that lifestyle, but will never live it. So that's the consumer.
That's true.
It's the kids that stay in your Highland Park that think he funny. It's the kids that stay in the Sugarland area of Texas that think he funny. And I don't know the rich area of Virginia, but whatever the rich area that they feel like they could relate to that dude, that's the dude that's buying that music.
No, I'm saying he should not have any value left as an informant. Everybody know what he is, so nobody should be doing anything in front of him or telling him anything.
But they will. Because we're telling ourselves. Look at the internet.
That's true. That's true.
The dudes that beat him up told on themselves.
Yeah, he was like, I want to be famous. And he did 8 years in prison.
Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord.
Again, I put it like this. I didn't done some things, and I bless God that he allowed me to join the band because I was in them situations. I got people that you can Google and you be like, damn, you hung with them? Yeah, I was with them. Thank God for his grace.
Let me Google them real quick.
I'll text it to you. like I have family that still get it in blood, like for real.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Me too. One of my little sister.
Yeah, so.
Dang, your little sister hard like that?
You never meet her.
I ain't never met your sister. Never in life.
Ask Sebring, Anton, Jose, or Will about my sister.
Wow.
It was some interesting times in Norfolk when my sister came to town.
Yeah, I missed all of that. Golly.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Help. All of them met her.
Oh, Hap met her too?
Listen.
Right, let me hit up Hap. Like, Hap, tell me, send me some season. And also tell me about Portia's sister.
Sebring say if he going to war with the army, that's who he calling.
Oh, Lord. Now, Sebring from Detroit, so that means a lot. That means a whole lot when somebody from the D is saying that. So, yeah, your sister ready for war. All right, let's get to this thing, man. I know we were kind of briefly talking about it before we truly get into it. In HISD right now, and Quan, I don't know if you want to talk about it or if you're prepared to talk about it. But in HISD right now, as we were discussing offline about the takeover of TEA, and what I asked you, and I kind of you started expounding upon it, but I kind of want you to go into a little bit more if you can. What does that mean for the district when TEA takes over?
Well, I'm only going to explain, of course, what I know. So for me, bro, from what I know is when the state takes over a district, they have the autonomy to run it as they see fit. So basically, all of the seats from the superintendent and the school board are vacant. So basically, the state can come in and hire whomever they want to take over that district, and then instruction goes on, from there. I won't give my opinion about it, but I just feel like it could have been handled way better, in my opinion. I've seen. I'll just say it like this: at the end of the day, when you have people outside of your home come into your house and tell you how to run it, sometimes that's not always the best, and sometimes they pull, people that are from the West Coast and they try to implement some of those things in the South when the mentality is completely different. Can you imagine if a person from Louisiana goes to Oregon and says, "I'm gonna run schools," in Oregon? Well, what is that climate, that culture like? What is that climate like? Those specific things. But overall, bro, I'm gonna be real. Education sucks right now. It sucks. You look at Florida and Texas. I don't know. They like tit for tat right now. I don't know what's the deal with our governors, bro. You got one dude, DeSantis. He's like, we gonna rewrite history and we want to go make it pretty for white people. They're talking about changing the curriculum where you don't speak about Greek life anymore. You don't speak about the Trail of Tears. You don't speak about, it's a whole list. You don't speak about LGBTQ. You don't speak about civil rights movement. You don't speak about none of that at all. I mean, and honestly, what us as Black people and people of color need to begin doing, we need to understand we always, for the most part, vote for the president, but you need to vote for your governor, your councilman, and those grassroots, because that's really who honestly lobby for you or should be lobbying for you as a citizen. We got to get out. I'm gonna just vote for the president. He only has a certain amount of power. But that's really it for it. We'll see, bro. I mean, they had their first town meeting yesterday, HISD, and it didn't go pretty. It didn't go pretty at all.
Well, we're gonna be watching that situation closely and also praying for that situation, because what I don't want to happen is, because you hit the nail on the head. Somebody coming from the outside and not knowing what's really going on the inside, bringing a different type of culture, so on and so forth. That could also affect the music education programs, the band programs, so on and so forth. And to be very, very honest, being a product of HISD, coming from HISD, going to Fort Bend, one of the biggest things that I would hate to see is them doing that, starting to mess with music education, knowing where and seeing where, the music education programs in Houston are at this point. So to watch them do something worse will make it even worse. So we're gonna be watching and praying for that situation. But moving into that topic,
Hey, bro, you got this feedback on your mic or something.
No, I don't. That was Potion. See?
Oh.
Potion, what you listening to in there? You got the air on?
I'm not listening to anything.
It's a fan.
I got this new thing for my desk. Every time I turn my computer on, this fan thing turns on. My bad. Hold on.
Anyway, so yeah, one of the things that I'm looking at right now, man, is it's a lot of openings right now. A whole lot of openings. And so I want to start talking about that, because one of the things that is really interesting to me is the number of openings that we're having now. I didn't really see these things 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. And so I want to have that conversation, and I want to talk about it. And we can talk about it from the Black side, the white side, and everybody else in between. So I'm gonna start it off real simple. Why are we constantly looking for new directors? Why are we constantly looking for new directors?
Portia.
I was gonna go to Portia first, but she was popping the water, and I wanted her to go ahead and get the sippy sip first. See, you did the right there. You went ahead and put it to your mouth, pause. But Portia, she was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and close up and go ahead and go for it. Portia, go ahead.
Why are we constantly looking for new directors? We talking about on all levels?
Yeah, for now.
I just think people, and this is in my experience, and this is in people and professions overall. To me, since COVID, people are really evaluating what they want to do and what they don't want to do, and what they're willing to deal with in all aspects. I can't even speak today, of their lives, including their jobs. I know so many people that have walked away from education since COVID. I'm gonna just do something else. I don't care that I got to go back to school and get another degree. This is not something I want to do in the long term. And so I think that it is a lot. I say this all the time. I would never want to be in that seat. I don't know how y'all do that. Hats off to y'all. God knows we need y'all, but I'm not. And so I think it's a lot. And people are choosing better for themselves. And then, I mean, people want growth opportunities. And a lot of times, if you're in these seats, the only way to get that is to move on. So that's my thing, that people are prioritizing self and doing different things. A lot of time growth requires movement and just a hard job. That's a hard job that I wouldn't want. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. Quan?
I feel this is how I feel, bro. Like, now I hate to ask you a question with a question, but are we specifically speaking about urban schools, or like for the HBCU culture, or just period?
Period.
We don't get paid enough for it. That's number one. And we're tired of telling people how to do our job. I think that's the thing. There's that, in the medical field, there's something called a second opinion, but you never insult the doctor because you believe that the doctor is an expert. But if you feel that you can get a second opinion, respectfully, I can get a second opinion. Education is the only field that you can have an administrator, and specifically now, that can go to school, teach possibly 2 to 3 years, get a secondary degree, and then be your boss, and then tell you how to do your field when they don't even know the content that you're teaching. Only in education that can happen. Now, if a math teacher walks into my class, the only thing they're really looking for is if my board configurations is correct and if it sounds decent. But in regards to my pedagogy and instruction, you have no clue. So we are devalued overall for the profession that we do because we look at it like we're glorified babysitters. And so when you want to push your ensemble to the next level, then they question you, well, why? And everybody, I realize, they don't want to be great. You have many people that they can accept mediocrity. And when they don't understand what you're doing, they expect you to fall into that category too. So that's from the perspective of, in my opinion, middle school, secondary. When it comes to this collegiate level, it's even magnified even more. You have people that's overworked and underpaid. But I must say this, though, on the flip side, DEI is somewhat working for us in this, in my opinion, opening doors for us that maybe wouldn't have been open prior to. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, honestly, if you position yourself, it can work for you. Because these PWIs, now more than ever, these PWIs are opening the doors to people of color, women, transgender, so forth and so on, to get to that collegiate level so that you can have a life as well as work through your calling as well. there's more. I'm starting to see more, which they need even more female band directors at the collegiate level. I look at the assistant. I believe she's the assistant director of bands. I believe at Oklahoma State. She's a sister. Let's talk about Miss Sanders. Let's talk about Crystal. Let's talk about Dr. Latoya Webb. Like, she doing everything. Like, she's in Canada. You know, it needs to be magnified even more. But things are changing. Let's not talk about Dr. Roebuck that's at Grambling. Honestly, in my opinion, I'm gonna say this publicly. I feel like she revitalized that program because they was on a slippery slope. So DEI honestly is benefiting us and opening doors. Don't forget about the band director that's at Penn State. I believe there's also a brother at Florida State. Don't forget talk about Brother Jones, who frat at LSU. You know, the first black band director in the SEC. So it's working for us. It's just taking longer than it should.
So I don't disagree with anything that you said, but I do have this question, and I asked this question once before, but I think I asked it on another show, and I want to bring it up here, and it kind of goes back to something that Portia was talking about, and you kind of were hitting on it too: overwork, underpay, so on and so forth. Do you think that, and not just band directors, music educators, teachers, sometimes in general, do you think that they're fooling themselves? Do you think that? Oh, go ahead.
No, repeat the question again. It was clicking.
Do you think that they're fooling themselves? You know, this is one of the things that I thought about, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. The stress levels that we deal with specifically after COVID. But you know, the things that we dealt with pre-COVID. But the level of work that is required, not directly just being a teacher, but that has been added since COVID. The way that students have shifted since then, you know, we have, and as teachers and as music educators, so on and so forth, we have our level of success that we want to reach with our students. And sometimes that doesn't align with what an administrator is looking for. And so what we do is, especially if you're in an underfunded underfunded school, low socioeconomic area, so on and so forth, you're struggling with these kids. You got kids who barely practice, don't want to practice, can't practice, between work and or watching little brother or little sister, or mama don't want them playing the apartment, but you still got to meet so many deadlines and so on and so forth, and you stressing yourself out, and you getting gray hair, and you having anxiety attacks, and then when it's all said and done, and the kids walk across the stage, you be like, "Oh, little Johnny graduated. It was so worth it." Are we fooling ourselves?
You want to answer that portion? Well, I'm gonna be honest with. For me, no. I don't think we're fooling ourselves, but that's what working in the trench is. Unfortunately, the reality of it is, statistics show is people without a high school diploma is harder for them. Statistics also show, you know, you're more likely, you know, there's cases here and there, but you're more likely to make $1 million more in your lifetime with a college degree. Now, in the last 3 to 4 years, I've come to the conclusion that everybody's not college material. That's fine. But just like you just said in my practice, Luke, the music that we're teaching, we're trying to teach life lessons. So if I can ensure, I have a young man that's a part of the band, at-risk student, horrible GPA initially. Now he's decided, you know what? I like band so much, I'm gonna go to college for band to participate in the band, but I have to go to a community college first. Okay, well, let's start there. We don't know what that may turn into, but because of that avenue, he's now considering. And my thing is, if you're going to go to college, maybe you don't finish, but if you're going to go, you might as well go for free. So, because we know as college graduates, college does more than just go to class and propel your academia. It opens up to who you are and how to deal with people, and socially and whatnot, and who you are. So I don't think we're fooling ourselves, bro. It's just that hard. And as believers, we know that many are called, but few are chosen. That's a part of the chosen. Like, that's just a part of the chosen. So if I can get Lil Johnny to go across that stage, Lil Johnny might have never would have came to school if it wasn't for you. And sometimes that's bearing the bigger burden of the responsibility of a soul than just academics. So I don't think we're fooling ourselves. That's just the burden that we have to bear, bro.
I don't know that people are themselves, but this is an outsider perspective. I don't know that this is sustainable. If you continue to pour that much out, what's left?
Yeah.
I'm not the chosen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Most of my family were and are educators. I'm telling you right now, baby, this ain't for me. But I just think education to me is always hard because it requires so much of you. But I feel like it's worse now. And is it sustainable in the long run? How much of yourself and for how long can you give? I guess is my question. I don't think they're educators are fooling themselves. I think there are some awesome educators. I know some that are changing lives, but it's getting harder and harder. And I'm not even talking about just the students. Some of the stuff, like I had a sorority sister of mine who walked away from education because she worked with special needs children, and the most she was supposed to have in her class was 12. She had 20 some kids. Like, and she would bring it up and they'd be like, well, this is what we're dealing with right now. Don't speak French. That's not what we dealing with because you're not in that classroom with me. So I just think that it's getting harder and harder for teachers and educators, and I just feel sorry. Like, I don't know. Y'all expected to do more, way less. There's no way from a safety, legal perspective that it should have been that many people in that classroom with the type of students that she was servicing. But she was supposed to come to work and deal with that all day, every day, and do the paperwork that comes along with those students, or almost double what she was supposed to have. Like, those are the things that how you continue to do that? And in a field that's already struggling to produce additional teachers, you're losing some to situations like this. So, yeah, I don't know that it's fooling yourselves. I think it's becoming something that you can't sustain, and it's getting harder to keep teachers with the things that are happening. So that's just my outside opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and my mother is a retired teacher. My mother, at least from what I can remember, has always been teaching my whole life. And so she retired, I want to say maybe a year or two after I started teaching. And then she decided after COVID that she wanted to go back into the classroom to help out. And she's said it to me on multiple occasions that this thing ain't what she remember. This thing different. And she talks to me all the time about the expectations of what the administrators want from you, and the level of paperwork that has changed. Chuck just kind of hit it on the head. The level of 504s and IEPs, so on and so forth, has changed. My mother is dealing with IEPs and 504s, and whenever she comes to visit me, she's like, baby, I don't know how to do this. Can you just show me how to do it, and then I can enter them, but just walk me through it, because this is new to me. This is all new information, and it's not even because she's just a retired teacher. It's just that, like you said, things have changed, kids have changed, expectations have changed. It's just so much that has changed. So on that regard, I can definitely kind of touch and agree with what you just said. But man, Quan, you said something, man. You just preaching, brother. It was kind of hard for me to go against anything that you said, and I'm not saying that I am. It's just, I mean, what you said it got facts to it, and it definitely holds weight, man. So
I just want to add this portion for everybody that's in education. We know the grave reality that now education has nothing to do with really is not beneficial to the kids at all. We're teaching kids how to take a test, and it's being used for honestly what school was created for. The people that created school all those years ago were the Rockefellers, the Fords, and all of the people, that those conglomerates and monopolies of American society during the Industrial Revolution. They're the reason why we have 5-day work weeks, 5-day work days. That's why. And he literally said, and he's quoted for saying, I don't want thinkers, I want workers. So if 1865 slavery ended until 1865 until 1875, that was the freest that Black people were. We had the most land. By 1910, we had lost over 1 million acres of land just over threats and taking and different things like that. I'm saying all that because right now I'm reading an article that's talking about prison to pipeline, the school prison pipeline from school. Black and brown students have a 3.5 higher chance of going to prison if they don't graduate. Like, people don't understand, jail is a private business.
Sure.
Like, we can put stock in it. Like, we can be like, hey, you got 1,000, you got 1,000, let's put it in.
I did my college thesis on this. That is an industry.
Yeah.
And they are starting to predict. When they first did that, they would use high school and late middle school numbers. They are now using elementary reading scores to predict how many prisons they need to build in the next 15 years.
Yeah. So this article right here about learningforjustice.org literally says Black children constitute 18% of the students, but they account for 46% of the students that are suspended in the school year in America.
Yeah.
So when you speak about a calling, if I hate to say it like this, if I can just save one, like that one matters. If I have, and it's not even about the size of the band anymore. It's like if I got 20 kids in a band, and if God allows me to push 20 across, so think about it. For 4 years, if I just push 20 across, that's 60 kids. Sorry, 80 kids, my bad. That 80 kids. Yeah. That's 80 kids that I literally have saved potentially from being incarcerated. That's 1 out of every. Also, 1 out of every 4 kids is misdiagnosed with a false label.
Facts.
Like, versus
I have never seen so many kids diagnosed with things than now. I've never seen that before.
So what happened? So one of the things that I was reading about, I want to say couple of months ago, maybe last year. What happened was a lot of those kids that came back after COVID, you have to remember we were 2 years behind. So because we were 2 years behind, they moved 2 years up. And if they weren't ready to handle the rigor, or they didn't have the knowledge to be able to prepare themselves for that new grade, a lot of them got labeled. That's why we're seeing an uptick in a lot of these new labels, because they're using the data from these kids who were 2 years behind to say, well, now since you can't get it and you ain't there, we may need to label you X, Y, and Z.
But let's dive a little deeper real quick. Why are they giving them labels? Per label, per population,
Money.
Per dollars.
So let's just deal with round numbers. If every kid in the school get $100, okay. If you low socioeconomic, we're gonna give you another $100. If you're on free reduced lunch, we're gonna give you another $100. If you are dyslexic, we're gonna give you another $100. And people don't understand that 504 does not deal, quote unquote, with the mental or learning disability. You could be allergic to roaches. You can have asthma, whatever the case may be. And every single one is another $100. So you may have, real talk, a $3,000 kid that's walking around school with all them labels. And this is the flip side of what they do. That behavior may be unjust and can kill the culture of the school, but you're going to keep them until after October for Snapchat.
Deeper than that is that these people start to believe those labels.
Yeah.
The people start to believe it, the parents start to believe it, the students believe it. If it just falls, and I tell a lot of people this, man. Them kids ain't slow. Them kids know the labels that they got on them. They know they know what's in their paperwork. So they go into class and they do whatever it is they want to, and a lot of times.
Because this is gonna get me out of it.
So to your point, to both of y'all points earlier, when we said that school is different, and Luke, you said your mama look at it as different. Nah, the only difference with school is not the students, it's the corporation and corporate thinking. Because let's be honest, most of your school board, for the most part, weren't real teachers. People fail to realize is the superintendent is a figurehead. That man or that woman don't have that much authority. They're the educator and doctor and PhD expert that brings it to the board. Most of them board members be lawyers and lobbyists and politicians that get paid. Yep. And guess what? If they feel like they shouldn't do it, they don't do it. So this is American. This is a meritocracy at its finest. When you have governors that say, "No, we're not going to teach that," then what's learning?
And what's crazy to me is, why we not teaching it? You offended? Because it happened. So what we saying?
But that's a part of white privilege. That's the victimization. Yeah. Like that's
we
the whole.
We can't talk about it. It happened, dog. I'm sorry. Y'all can't get past.
Baby.
Y'all can't get past the war y'all lost. Flying flags and everything, lost. But our whole origin in this country, we're not supposed to discuss it because little Johnny offended. Hell, I'm offended that I gotta look at these flags flying.
Hey, remember the Alamo, baby. Remember the Alamo.
And the dysphoria of we already dealing with that, but the dysphoria of Black people is something else in itself. Like how we treat each other. Even let's go back to band for a second. Every year this conversation comes up with concert band and marching band. Every year. What people fail to realize is I want to be great as a Black man. I want to be great at everything that I said I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna be a band director, I'm gonna ensure that my kids can sit in every single environment and thrive. The truth is, a lot of people of all nationalities love marching band. That's why you see some white people in bands. You see Hispanic, you know, especially like in the South for sure. You see a lot of Hispanics in, you know, Texas Southern Band, you know, Prairie View, and I'm pretty sure amongst around the country. They appreciate our culture. We're the only one that limit ourselves and put ourselves in a box and be like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and we're only going to do marching band, and well, you know, but y'all want to do this white mess. I just want to be a great musician, bro.
I agree.
So we can't even come together and speak and fight as a black people, because what we do is we say, well, are you going to vote for such and such? Prime example, I'm going to just use this for example. Now, I didn't do it, y'all. If one person says, well, I voted for Trump, and you're black, well, that's his right. Well, you not black because you voted for Trump. Why? He can't have an opinion because that's his right to vote. So we just excoriate that person from the quote unquote black community. Like that happens all amongst us, from marching band to a minute thing like food. That happens to us. We don't have one agenda to push us forward. We got 6. And then the 6 really don't even matter in the end because it's not pushing the culture forward. So
I think the saddest thing I just saw in these comments is people can't check out books.
Yeah, I saw your face when that one popped up.
Did you see that? I was like,
wait, who can't check out the book?
I just put it on the screen.
That is the saddest thing I ever heard. How?
Okay.
So you supposed to run back and forth to the library to read? Oh, we ain't teaching people how to read, so we don't care.
I'm gonna be real. You got some Portia. I have high schoolers that can't read.
And that's why they started using, and somebody put it in the comments, they must be reading the same stuff that I'm reading. That's why they started using elementary reading scores to come up with this pipeline. Because if you can't read, you more than likely can't function in society. And then you turn to alternate means and an alternate lifestyle to support yourself. That is crazy.
Yeah, it was difficult.
I don't even want to talk about Florida because they on some other stuff right now. Okay. If you, all my D9 that live in Florida, what is going on down? No.
You know, it was difficult for me to call on students sometimes to read because the exposure was real. And that's when I was teaching high school.
High school.
And let's not get them to write a paper.
We got to write 7 sentences? 7? Yeah, 7 complete sentences. You like, you know, subject, you know, predicate, you know.
That thing is strange to me because when I got to kindergarten, we learned the alphabet. Then we learned how to read because my teachers told me reading is the foundation of everything else. You can't even solve and begin to understand these math problems if you can't read the problem that's in front of you. Reading is fundamental.
But see, here's the thing. We're teaching sight words now instead of phonemic awareness. And I don't want to get all that deep, but we're not teaching.
Is that why people can't sound words out now? I used to be able to sound words out, and I hear some people read entire word out, and I'll be like, how did you look at that and get what?
Yeah. So phonetically, we were the last generation of hooked on phonics. I'm a hooked on phonics babe.
Baby, them commercials was lit. I don't know what y'all talking about that before lit was a thing. Them hooked on phonics commercials.
I was hooked on phonics.
I think they just brought it back though.
They need to.
They did.
Because kids is like the problem is if I just show you this word and then I just be like, this word is play. You can say play, but phonemic awareness, I could take that P off, and then what this word becomes, it becomes lay. If I take that L off, this AY, and I put a D in the front, it becomes day. Like I understand phonetics. These kids, again, is get rich quick, microwavable aspects. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad, bro. Like, I'm gonna be real.
Told somebody,
yeah, hooked on phonics is still a thing.
I told somebody to sound out a word, and they looked at me like I had 3 heads. I still do that as an adult. If I see a word that I don't know, I sound it out. And then I will go Google it, double check to see if I got it right. But I try to sound it out first because that's the way we were taught. Y'all see, every time we get on one of these shows, we start talking about this stuff. Y'all learn me something because I didn't even know that wasn't a thing anymore.
Do you know kids really don't even know how to use dictionaries to use the pronunciation anymore? It's bad, bro.
I mean,
it's bad.
Kids. Let's. We're like way off topic right now, but let's keep it about. Kids don't know how to do like half the things. They don't even know what a Dewey Decimal System is. So, hey,
well,
in the library, you don't gotta really do that no more. But for us, it was a means of actually working to get what you needed. Whereas you don't have to do that no more. So me. Hey, I saw a post yesterday that one of these young kids put up that said Andre 3000 was a one-hit wonder. So, hey.
Wow.
Yeah. They said that his one hit was "Hey Ya." That was it. So,
you know how much music he made before? Oh.
Young kids, man, they don't know no better. All right, man. Let's move on to the next topic. I'm over here coughing and stuff. Anyway, let me go ahead and do it, man. Did I even do it today? Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more, man. Y'all go ahead and slap tap or do whatever you want to that like that. Just go ahead and smash it. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be posted. Good Lord, I messed that up. It's been 2 weeks. This episode will be posted on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. All right, sliding back into the topic, we talking about directors, new band directors position. Let me ask you this question: are we looking for the next entertainer or the next educator? Are we looking for the next entertainer or are we looking for the next educator?
Now you know that.
Don't put your head down, Quan. You got it.
Now you know damn well we looking for the next entertainer, bro. Like, come on. Like, I low-key feel insulted by you asking that question.
Like, you know, that's what it is. People say all the time, like, you know, Norfolk State is good, but you know, we don't see Mr. Bethea enough. Like, he need to get up there and direct songs, and he need to be doing this and he need to be doing that. Does he? I don't. It literally, and I don't know if this is the old school mentality because of the Legion we came into, but Dr. Sanford's mentality was, by the time we get to game day, my job is done.
Hence the reason why you always see the drum majors in the front.
I'm out on game day. I'm out the way. Unless they tell me they need something, I'm chilling. So I'm not used to, I want to see the band director up there throwing his hat off, pulling out cereal boxes, turned up. I'm not used to that. So maybe that's showing my age or whatever, but to me, the masses are looking for entertainment and not necessarily the education piece, because the education piece is not going to show on a Saturday during a game. The product, however, will reflect the type of educator that's before it. So I don't know. In my opinion, people are looking for entertainment. They could care less if you know anything about the subject matter.
So, Quan, let me ask you this, because I had two questions, but I'll go to the first question. Quan, what evidence is making you truly feel as though it's about the entertainment and not the education?
Because the bands that are really educating that are improving every performance, getting better, and maintaining a standard of musicality, those bands are boring. Those bands are whack. So if you look at what's the standard, that's the standard of popular of pop culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't know much about Norfolk until I, got cool with y'all. Norfolk been a great band for years. You got to give, respect where respect's due. I look at, during that transition at Prairie View, that band got better. So with that particular staff, you, Rick, and so forth and so on, was improving that band. And then I also look at those students that graduated after, like during that time frame, they graduated certified. Those students have band programs that are producing kids, that are pushing kids to the college, that are receiving astronomical numbers for scholarships, and they're graduating themselves. That's a product. You feel what I'm saying? So it was not only a culture change, it was a pedagogy change and overall improvement. But those bands are not being highlighted. So I'm just saying, it's like, at the end of the day, it's about entertainment. Who has the most? Like, we still have not really given Tennessee State its just due for winning a goddamn Grammy, bro.
I agree.
A Grammy for original music. A Grammy.
But they not the Kings though.
And she sips her essential water gracefully. I'm just saying, bro. It's like, I don't know, bro.
So I'm gonna ask this question then. And this was the second question that I was going to ask. So there are people who say that you can be an entertainer and an educator. What about that thought process? Being the entertainer and the educator.
Well, my thing is this. That's one thing that Drumline got right. At the end of the day, bro, and I want to speak on that comment real quick, but that's one thing that Drumline got right. But his education, his standard for education did not supersede entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, he listened to his student body, got the buy-in factor, and was like, hey, we should merge this. But his standard of excellence for what he wanted for his band did not diminish because he wanted to be popular. Because, at that time, he didn't care if they were talking about him on Black Planet. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? He was like, if I'm going to win the big Southern Classic, I'm going to win it my way by entertaining. I'm sorry, by first educating, then entertaining. So it's doable. But again, you got to have some tough skin because you're going to be called out. So, but I do want to mention that comment that Kokomo Jack said. I respectfully disagree because those two institutions, North Texas is damn near conservatory. So they're educating, and everybody that graduates from that school on point. They only have a 1% acceptance rate per year when it comes to musicians for North Texas. And when it comes to Ohio State, it's damn near the same thing. The only difference,
I was going to say, I can tell you right now, in a minimum of 50% of the music educators in Duncanville's music program comes from UNT.
So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we low-key got to check our priorities, though. But who am I, man?
Who am I? Did get a damn shit. I'm sorry, my bad. That was the first thing I thought of when you said who am I? So what about those people who say certain band directors are entertaining, or excuse me, certain band directors who are entertaining, even though we may not see they're educating, they are educating? So, like for instance, kid A or B or C or D comes into a music program and they can't blow their nose, but when they graduate, they at least know 5 more scales. So they are educating. But they band was marching at least 80% of the year. I don't know why I threw that in there, but why not?
And that's why he knows 5 scales.
Gotcha.
That's why. I'm sorry. Because I'm in here, because I call brothers like you on FaceTime to listen and other people, I'm working. That's why I can put my head on this desk and take a nap while y'all talk, because we're really teaching. You cannot, I don't give a damn what nobody say. There comes a time when you have to sit a kid down and do what's called chunk this aspect of assignment or lesson or objective. People don't even know that the curriculums that you normally get are so far-fetched because it's created for a perfect world. I just need 10 teaks or 10 objectives to be like, I'm gonna master these 10 teaks, 5 in the fall, 5 in the spring, and I'm gonna build on that the next year, a Bruner spiral curriculum, if that's possible with my scheduling aspect. But you can't teach, because when you're in marching band mode, it's about entertainment. You can come in the comment and say what you want. That's about entertainment. Because think about this. During a 5-day week, and Portia, you can attest to this, you perform on Saturday. Practice is Monday to Friday. We introduce Monday, solidify stuff on Tuesday, set the field for the most part on Wednesday, cut people Thursday, Friday. You perform on Saturday. So out of them 5 days, the most days you're teaching is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you do that 80% of the year, when are you teaching? Correct me if I'm wrong. And if any band director in the comment section, like Chuck or somebody, please correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm willing to listen. But you're not teaching that much marching band. It's certain concepts that you need to sit down and work on in a concert band or a classroom setting. Oh, Simon say you got me.
You say what?
Simon say he got me. He say he gonna come in
okay.
And correct.
I'll come on and tell you you're wrong. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, man. We flying through these bad boys tonight. No, actually, we're not. We had an hour and 20 minutes. I thought we was moving quick. I guess it was Mr. Adams' fault. We was talking about Mr. Adams for a while. All right, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about HBCU band coaching, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like that, and just go ahead and do it. Hey, as a matter of fact, go ahead and hit it. I don't care if you give us a thumbs down. Just help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioners Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. And I do want to make this announcement. I'll say it again at the end of the show. We will be in ATL for the consortium. We are doing a live show and a panel at the same time. Yeah, that's how I'm saying it. So if you're gonna be in ATL, if you're gonna be at the consortium, man, come and check us out. We will be there. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know how we want to frame that, but we are at the 9 o'clock slot. So we're going to be up there early. But we're going to be partying the rest of the day, babe. No, we probably will, though. But no, so we will have our live show at the HBCU Band Directors Consortium. So check us out on that. All right, let's go on to the next topic. Are band directors truly aspiring to be at the college level? I put we all, so that's why I gotta change that.
I am. I can't speak for nobody else. I am. I do. I do. And that's my final answer. I do.
I just looked at Justin's comment. My bad.
What Blue flames. I don't know what that means. So
No, sir. No. I gave that life up, Justin. But yeah. Well, I'll ask another question after that, after your comment. But Portia, are band directors truly aspiring to be on the college level?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you from my perspective. What I'm gonna say is, if you want that life, you need to be done with whatever your area is. If you like to write, it's tight. If you a percussionist, it's tight. Yeah, I can tell you now, Miss Sanders does have time to gig, but there is may write one percussion part a year. You just don't have the time for that. You're doing so many other things that you don't have time for whatever your area of expertise is if you're sitting in that seat. I don't know all band directors. I don't know, but my question is college the pinnacle of a band director career?
You went into what I was going to ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you already asked it now. So, I mean, that's a good question. Is being at the college level the end all be all? Is that, is that where we say that the buck stops? Is that where the goal is? And so, yeah, is it the pinnacle?
Well, for me, no. For me, no. Do I want to experience being a director of bands? Absolutely. Do I want to experience being a head director of a college band? Yes, I do. But my ending goal, where I want to retire from, I want to retire as a department chair, hopefully emeritus, that I can teach teachers how to be better teachers. Because if we think education is going to get better, it's not. So I'm going to give you a real reality. And if you say that this is the life that you want to live, well, let me prepare you in the best manner and best way possible. Because the truth is, you're going to face an aspect of racism. You're going to face an aspect of what's the word I'm looking for? Julian, help me out. It ain't gonna be easy. Let me just put it like that. It ain't gonna be easy.
A level of difficulty.
Like difficulty. You're gonna have an aspect of if you're doing concert band, like the adjudicators. I was explaining to my kids today, the adjudicators don't care, bro. They don't care that you can't practice at your house at nighttime, or you may stay in the housing project. So guess what? Them walls paper thin, and so you can't play a horn, or you have siblings, or if you have a student that's staying at a hotel, they don't care. They just want the product. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with, what? All my flutes are at work. So as a director, you might want to pick some pieces for the strength of your band. You need to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to honestly develop your own curriculum that speaks and engages your kids, not just the Foundation for Superior Performance book. What happens when you have that mixed class? When you got advanced kids with a kid that's learning how to put their horn together, you need to learn that and all in between. So even how to advocate for yourself. Nah, I need to get my stipend. I need all my change. You need to learn every aspect of education and how to not be taken advantage of as well. So that's my ending goal.
So before I get to the next random question in all of this, I do want to send a shout out to Chuck. We didn't do that. shout out to Chuck, man, for his festival scores. And then I also saw my guy Dante Chambers in here, man. So shout out to him and his festival scores. I think he posted them not too long ago. So man, shout out to both of you guys. You know, and your success at festival. All right. Oh, go ahead. You about to say something, Quan?
I do. Shout out to my guy. He was a mentor years back when I would go back and forth home. Shout out to David Lott. I know his brother. Everybody knows his brother, Mellow Fry. He's the band director at St. Helena. He's frat too, but he received superior ratings at LMEA in Louisiana. He's the band director at St. James High School, and he allowed me to work with his drumline when he was at Lutcher High School. So anybody know Lutcher? They got a really good football team, but he was building that program, and this dude, wherever he go, like they do well. And he also went to Southern's Band Festival as well. He received superior ratings for his music assessment at LMEA. So they have people that's doing it and doing it well. So, you know, shout out to him as well.
Yeah, shout out to LL Cool J, doing it and doing it well. All right. So with this and this is getting back to the topic. With the aspiring to be at the university level, does that hurt some secondary and high school programs?
Say it again for me.
So with directors aspiring to be at these university programs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting to the pinnacle, does that hurt secondary or high school programs? And I'm saying that in the sense of, because sometimes we see people, you know, trying to push those programs in places that they may not be ready for or they should go. So that's why I'm asking that.
Well, in my opinion, and I'll just say this real quick. In my opinion, I do believe it does, because there's certain experiences and certain levels of maturity that I feel like you should attain, not only at your pace, but at a smaller level. Aside from the marching band stuff and the admin stuff that college directors deal with, there's a sense of maturity that you got to have of professionalism. And some of that, because we all know the stories, the young band director that get exposed, like some of that happens because you may be 4 years to their senior. Do you have the maturity to deal with? I'm just saying, as a man, do you have that maturity to deal with that type of temptation? Because your actions could determine or deter that band program. I won't say no names, but it was a band program that was growing and doing well, and then something happened, and all of a sudden, it stunted their growth. So, do you have that level of maturity? Do you have that level of maturity to not be that person's friend? Because again, they may be a freshman, you may only be 4 years older, or that senior, you may be 4 years older than that senior. Can you truly handle that? So, and then another thing is, Chuck saying it, do you know how to build for yourself instead of just being handed something? And this is my opinion, being handed something because something that I work for, blood, sweat, and tears, I'm not just going to give it away because you don't understand the type of sacrifice it took me to get here. So I'm not going to let anyone come around to destroy it. So.
Dang, I thought I had muted it. I guess I didn't mute. My bad. Anyway, well, I was going to say, ask if Portia, you had any comments on that? Or you were good? Good. Okay. All right. So then, hey, we are flying through these bad boys. Man, look at that. Man, I guess we saving all the juice for next week. Is it next week? No, week after next. Well, no, it's next week. It's next week. Oh, by the way, our show will not be on Wednesday. It'll be on the day in which we are at the consortium. So just letting y'all know, don't look for the show Wednesday, because I'm gonna be asleep on Wednesday, preparing for Atlanta. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put. Well, first of all,
I'm not acting a fool with y'all. I'm actually gonna go to some of these workshops.
Me too.
So,
okay.
Okay.
I'm just act a fool at night, because ain't no workshops at night. Well, me and Chuck got to get up too, but yeah, the nighttime is the right time. All right, here we go. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, go ahead and smash that like, daddy. Let's go ahead and get these likes up, man. Like I said, you can give us a thumbs down if you want to, but it's all good. I ain't gonna be tripping. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. This is going to be the last topic question. And then after I put it out there, then I'm going to put the link inside of the chat so you can come in and talk that talk with us. All right, so here we go. And I've seen this on multiple occasions, multiple Facebook pages, Instagram pages. People have been talking to me. Directors are tired. Not tired, tired. Is it the students, admin, level of work, or poor time management? Directors are tired. Well, I put tired there, but tired. Is it the students, admin, level of work, or poor time management? Portia, go ahead and take that one.
All of it. It's all of that into one, because you can't necessarily manage your time if you're trying to balance these students and admin. It's a lot going on. Yeah, I'm telling you what, like Chuck White said, all of the above. It's all of that. All of it's connected. Like I said, I wouldn't want this job on no level. I'm barely holding on to the little one I got. Woo, child. Like, it's so much that educators, band directors have to deal with. And the stuff that's happening on the college level, I'm just like, I don't understand. And yes, to Crystal's point, admin is a lot. It's so much. And I mean, at the college level, I will say here, we got a lot of admin support now, so that's a good thing. But it's still a lot balancing what their needs are, what they want, where they want you to show up, what their expectations are. Then you have the students, then you have the band world, then you have social media, and then you have all of this other stuff. And then you got to show up here, and then you got to be another father, another mother. You got to be a counselor. You got to balance this budget. You got to, it's a lot. They are tired. Pray for them. It's all of that. But then once you juggled all of that, then you still got this band program to deal with, the actual function of this band program. And when you got time to do that. So it's a lot. And if they trying to do it well, they tired, real tired.
Dog.
That's all I got.
Dog.
Right. Well, since you putting in that dog tired. Oh, I can't do it no more. Dog. There we go. I'll never do that again though. Rick used to make me go around and do that.
Why? When you was a crab?
No, when I in undergrad, because Rick is a cute, so he'd be like, "Hey man, come here, dog. Come here, dog." Look, he bring me around all the cues. My partner, he be doing it. Watch, do the dog, catch the baby, do the dog, catch the dog. And he used to make me do that. Dog. I'm sorry, my bad. Anyway, Quan, directors are tired. Is it the students, admin, level of work, or poor time management?
That's all of it. Then add parents. Add parents. Add community. Add lack of resources. Add lack of sleep.
Nope.
Add add trauma from the students. I mean, again, it's your calling, bro. Like when it's on, and I hate to say it like this, but I just gotta be honest. When the kids, when you could just teach the kids, it's awesome. When you have to deal with everything else, that'd be the problem. So it's kind of like you get a glimpse of what you can have. So out of just say 7 days, you may have 3.5 days of blissfulness when you have a great practice. But the other days you fighting to get back to that day. It's like a high, bro. Because you know what the potential is. And another thing, we're creators. We can't sit behind no desk and be happy. Not as a creator. But sometimes people, we have to do that for the sanity. You know, and that's why I feel like going to the previous question, you have a lot of band directors transitioning, hoping that they can find that good spot to ensure that they fulfill their calling. So, it's just a lot, bro. It really don't be the kids, though. It be everything else.
So you brought up somebody or an entity in which I was going to bring up anyway, which I'm glad. So the reason why I put poor time management is typically because that's usually what the parents are always trying to tell you and trying to dictate how to do your job. When something isn't going the way that they believe it should happen with their children. So you kind of brought it out there. I was going to ask about parents and how y'all feel about parents in this equation, but you kind of hit it on the head. Going, was that a raise my hand, or that was a stop?
Don't even go there, because the fact that parents is involved on the college level does not sit well with my spirit. Why? Girl, why you calling up here asking why your child was up at 6 o'clock in the morning? Why are you calling here asking why your child had to run? Why? I don't talk to parents. I make that explicitly clear. I'm not discussing a situation that your mother wasn't here for, doesn't understand with them. I'm not. But the amount of phone calls, the amount of visits on a college level is crazy to me.
Just bottom line, I don't think school has altered to be more corporate, but the truth is, I'm going to just say it like this. We got some weak ass parents. Put it out there. Now, don't get it twisted. All my teachers wasn't good, and some of them lied on me. However, in front of me, my mama said, you shut your mouth. You need to get your lesson. She told me. And you to shut up. These parents, they're succumbing to the labels. They act like we don't know their kids. Your kid walk around school with no belt, J's on their feet, brand new iPhone, doing this, I got kids that wear Balenciagas at my school. Real talk. Now, I don't know if it's real or it's fake. I don't know. That ain't my business. We do stay. I do work around King's Flea Market, for those who know. However, they have Balenciagas. They have with the McQueens. They have all them shoes on. Some of them got grills, better ones than mine. Straight up. I'm talking about slugged up. Wisdom tooth to wisdom tooth. And you have the audacity to walk in my class without a pencil and paper. Sir, you gonna fail. That's what I've been fighting. It's just a certain standard. And let me tell you something. When you set a standard at your door and the kids know not to play with you, they're not gonna play with you. Because you're gonna fail. You're gonna be the first person in world and history to fail band. because you fail around here.
Okay. Yeah. Good period on that. I couldn't stand that, man.
Hey, we should make a shirt called WAP. Not WAP, WAP. And people are like, what's WAP? Weak ass parents.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Woo.
I knew where he was going. Yeah, I just don't.
Is that still WAP?
It's still WAP.
It is.
still
It's
WAP?
the same thing. Yeah. We're just gonna pronounce it different because we don't want the association. But what I'm saying is, if you got a child in college, let them fight their battle. So you can conference with them about it. Hey, I think you should approach it like this. If I were in a situation, I would say it like that. But baby, please don't show up at that university.
Well, one of the things I was thinking about when you were saying that is, if your parent is calling the university about your baby running, what did they do in high school?
Not run.
So how did band happen? How did they
Baby,
march on a field show with no calisthenics whatsoever?
won't no marching going on. And that's what we saying. Them field shows won't field showing. That's what it is. The math ain't mathing, because the reality is, on average, on a short day, if it's 2 schools performing and they being strict, because this the MEAC, a field show is 7 minutes. But if we at a showcase or something like that, I think our show, even after we cut it in Atlanta, was almost 12. If your baby don't run, they're gonna need the EMTs. So which one do you want? One of these things ain't gonna work out. Either they gonna run and they gonna get through this show, or they not and they gonna need the EMTs.
That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts.
But I tell you, when they be like, do we got to do this? You don't have to do anything. You do not have to do anything.
Stay black and die.
Mm-hmm. The crazy thing about that is they'll justify and they'll say, well, do they have to march? Like, if they play, can they march in and then like sit down? Like, again, WAP.
I'm not discussing. No, here's my real perspective, and this might be wrong.
I'm gonna figure out how to get this WAP thing going.
But
you gotta put an accent over the A.
I'm that's how you do it. I'm not discussing a culture with you that you don't understand. And even if you do understand it, I'm really not having a conversation with you.
Hey, Portia. So them parents don't be caring about like FERPA or anything like that, because technically you're not supposed. By law you ain't supposed to talk to them.
Why you think I say that's how I get away with saying I'm not talking to your mother?
That's real.
No, I'm not. I'm not. She I don't care what she wanna do. I am not talking to her. I'm not doing it. She won't hear for whatever the situation is she want to discuss, and she don't understand the culture. I'm not talking to her, or your daddy, or your grandma, or your auntie, or your cousin. Nobody.
And don't have them walk up on me at the game either.
Woo, child. No, I'm not the one for that, because it's gonna be written all over my face before I can say anything. Nope. He said the math is math, and these field shows on the high school level have fell off because the same weak parents were weak band.
Shots fired. And on that note, let's go ahead and bring Chuck in. Chuck, turn your phone sideways, man.
Child.
Oh, you on the computer? Is that what that is?
My phone.
You said what?
Okay, we good?
Turn your phone sideways.
Like this way?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. What up?
What's up?
I got something for y'all. Y'all ready? When y'all say weakest, y'all say parents. Weak ass.
I'm not doing this with you.
Yeah, I just wasn't as hype about it. If I was in the club, that'd be different.
Right. You know, Portia, is so funny that you saying that, because like, you know, I speak to a lot of mentors, you know, and individuals on the HBCU circuit, and they say that that's one of the big issues now is parents. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? Because I remember my first year as a freshman, and the doors of the band room, doors of the church were closed. And
But
that's
see,
it.
they don't try to come in the band room, Chuck. They come up and they sit. Some of them sit outside and watch us practice.
That's insane. That's insane. I just don't get it. Like I don't get it. And you know, as a high school director, I have my, you know, open door policy, but you know, my parents know that, you know, when I'm in rehearsal, when I'm in go mode, like they know there's a time and place for it. There's a time and place for those conversations, and but I just don't understand it on the collegiate level. It's sounds like it's a pandemic all the way around.
My bad, Chuck. I was listening, but I wasn't listening because somebody was asking when your show was gonna drop.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
ain't nobody asking about that.
Yeah, no, you know they're gonna ask, but no, I told them it's gonna be after consortium. So
Yeah, for sure.
anybody asking if you want to know about Chuck's show, he'll be after consortium. I'll put up a exact date after consortium.
Yeah, cool. Definitely looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to catching up with everybody. Portia, you coming too? Okay, cool. That's right. Yeah. And I think I have some of my auxiliary staff that's going to be attending the flag and dance sessions and stuff. And so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it's going to be a great week next week. I'm excited to see some groups. I'm excited for Kedrick Taylor's session. He's doing a how to build a concert band in a marching band world. I believe that's the title, or that's the gist of it. And so I'm excited for my brother and excited to you know what I'm saying, to see that. So I think it's gonna be a great week, good performances all the way around, and you know, good to catch up with some folks. I didn't make it to their conference this year. And this is the one that I'm making it to. And so got to space these joints out, man. It's like I was talking to somebody today, and we were just saying, he was like, man, he's like, if I taught in the air, I mean, DeKalb, well, really Georgia, but really DeKalb, we got something going on every weekend. We got something going on every weekend. It's like nonstop, and I'm sure there's other cities and other places like that as well too. But it's constant.
Yeah, it's been, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like this year was just a lot of everything between the marching band, between the conferences. You know, I just felt like I really battles. Like I feel like we had the most battles this year that I've seen in previous years. I mean, I could be wrong, but it just felt like it. I don't know what it was about this year. So no, you're absolutely right. But no, I was looking at some of those sessions, so I was looking forward to going to some of those as well. So
yeah, you know, you definitely brought up something. I'm sure Portia, you could talk about it more being on the inside. Like a lot of those directors I spoke with, they just talk about how oversaturated it is. And you know, when you get invited to these big performances like Pasadena and you know, Macy's and stuff like that, like the university, to my knowledge and what I've seen, is they'll kick in a portion, but you got to fundraise the rest. And so it's like, hey, we got to go to this Battle of the Bands this weekend to get this money, you know, so we can make it to this performance that will give our students, you know, an experience that typically that you don't get, you know, every year. And it's exhausting. I know I had a conversation with Curtis Dollar Watson, you know, and we were hanging out, and he was just saying, I said, man, you've been everywhere, you know, everywhere. And he's just like, man, it just starts to run together. He's like, it just starts to run together, you know, and I get that way just as a band director. Like every Friday I go to this place called the Corner Cup, which is right across the street from my school, to go get some coffee or something, just so my ears can and change the scenery, but also my ears can flush. A lot of times when I drive home, I don't listen to anything to let my ears flush out because it's constant with sound, and I know I'm hard of hearing. If we have a fan going on in the band room and I got students asking questions, I have to ask them to repeat themselves. But then I can hear that clarinet that's playing sharp, and stuff. It's just a different type of hearing. Again, it's just the directors. I know the directors are tired, and some of them are just getting their other ensembles off the ground, which is like it's insane. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool that we got so many things, but then again, I don't know. I just wish it was less because it would be more appreciative. I remember when like Queen City was a big thing, or even the gym battles at Norfolk when you guys first started hosting them. Just to backtrack, 04 was at Norfolk, 05 was at A&T because I was in both, and I just those were like, or even what was the thing that what was the one that Norfolk hosted that was during the fall? Yeah, Battlefest. Like, like those were like cool because you didn't see those so often. I mean, just imagine having the Super Bowl every month or every other weekend or something like that. It takes away from it. And I always tell my students, like, because they in YouTube culture and look at their bands. I was like, man, it was not when I was in high school, you had to go see these bands live, and it was just a different feeling to see those bands live and experience that versus seeing it on a video and then only getting half of it. Again, that's just kind of my thoughts on that.
No, man. I mean, you're absolutely right, man. Between the battles being super saturated, like you hit the nail on the head with everything. I mean, it's interesting. Like somebody who went to Midwest also went to their state conference, and then will also be going to, consortium. Matter of fact, Crystal.
Yeah.
So at this point, you may be burned out from, constant meetings and stuff like that, constant sessions, and I mean, it may be that way, man. I mean, like I said, I just felt like this year was a whole lot. So
people trying to get back from the COVID year,
right? Yeah,
trying to get back.
But man, like I said, we will catch up. That is gonna happen. Well, we got stuff to do anyway.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about that offline.
Right.
But yeah, man, I always appreciate you coming through, man. Your words are always important to us, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all, man. And like I put in my hashtag, we tired.
Yeah.
We tired. We ready to be done to kick kids out. I'm like, look, I'm closing the bedroom up 15 minutes after we're done with rehearsal. It's nice outside. It's 80 degrees. Get your butt outside. I'm ready to get home.
Yeah, I don't blame you, bro.
Right.
All right, man, appreciate you, bro. Let me go ahead and get ready to bring Justin into this room.
All right.
He obviously got some disagreements with Quan. So
all right.
All right, go. All right, here we go. Let's bring him in. Old Simon. Here we go. Boom.
What up, man?
Big Chief toilet paper.
That was good, man. I don't really disagree with Quan. I just kind of want to add. Well, I guess it is a disagreement. All right, man. That don't apply for every band. Like I know, like when he was giving the example about like how you just practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, gotta make cuts on Thursday, performance on Friday, Saturday. That's good. I know band director. I know my band director. And I guess it depends on what level. So we're gonna stay high school for right now. I know there's multiple times it'll be something we was learning in like band camp or we learned in class during theory. And even in marching band class, like my band director always just spot out. You see this run right here? This is what we was talking about. This is like, he always found teachable moments throughout even marching band season. And even parade season, we in New Orleans, he always found a teachable moment. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see a lot of band directors do that now. So I guess that's one I was saying you kind of I would disagree with Quan, because I know you can find teachable moments inside of the marching band, era. So even with concert band, and I'm noticing, of course, concert bands don't be big as football bands. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, that be your better students, the students that actually care about concert music, section leaders, and some band is mandatory. I know it's mandatory. We play in a concert band, so I guess sometimes you got to point the finger in like who you watch, who you pointed at, because like, what about the rest of the band who don't participate in concert band? Or is it fair to say, when we saying about who teaching and who not teaching, should the whole marching band be a concert band? Or like a symphony? That could be cool. I know we always had big concert bands, but what y'all think about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because most concert bands on the show, they be like 15, 20 people max, So I guess what I'm saying is that, like, what you can find moments to teach, but even in concert band, a lot of the times it be your advanced players. And even on a collegiate level, that's a whole different ballgame, because a lot of these colleges, accept kids who really don't know how to read, but it don't be their fault that they probably just pick up the horn their senior year. So it just, a lot of time when people make comments like that, I'm like, well, what about this person? What about that person? Everybody can't read concert music, and everybody just on different levels. Is normally your best kids, your best product, you bring it to the festival trying to get these good scores. What about the kids who don't make these concert bands are not good enough? So, like, I don't know. I guess that's just kind of what I wanted to point out when talking about having time to teach, and and just teaching in general.
So I just want to rebut. I agree with everything you say from that point of view, Justin. But specifically, let me say for my situation, I know a lot of people, my colleagues in the district. For me, I'm gonna just give you facts numbers from my experience. I'm gonna use a round number. So out of 20 kids, bro, 5 are only in band class. So I really have an after school band program, and most of them didn't come from middle school programs. So because of that, my class is after school. And and in Houston, certain areas you got to let kids go at a certain time because they walk home. So because sex trafficking is a real thing, you have to let the young ladies go at a certain time before it get too dark. So that's a dilemma I have, and I know other people have as well. But if you can make it work, that's what's up. But I know 20 band directors that have the same scenario like me though.
So, and of course, even like here in New Orleans, we complain about a lot. They're taking band classes away. Most bands get taught after school, which is why at band practice, which is why I kind of emphasize on. I know a lot of bands that teach during, I guess, our marching band season is longer than everybody's in the country. But I guess, I don't know. I just find sometimes people use it as a like Aberson right now. Aberson got all superiors at Southern Concert Festival, and I don't know what they're gonna do at LMEA, but if they went to LMEA. But they found time to do band all year long and still have a good product for concert band. So I guess I'm saying some people make excuses, you know what I'm saying, because it can't be done. And like here in New Orleans, like Class Got Brass, I emphasize other stuff besides concert music, brass band music. You know what I'm saying? You could do all kind of stuff. Any other thing, any other genre besides marching band, I feel like you can do. Like I was saying this year, just watching all these high schools pop out randomly. I want to host a festival next year. I want to host a festival simply on a showcase. I don't want it to be adjudicated. I don't be done, but I do want to set some stipulations to where it's everything besides marching band, whether it be gospel, jazz, classical, whatever you want to do. I want it to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But back to this, the topic about the band directors tied. I think it's okay for some band directors to be tied. But then again, I know you probably look back at some people's program and be like, what you tired of? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you tired when that's all y'all did type stuff? You know what I'm saying? So my answer to that question was, I think it's okay for some people to be tired, but I can see when some people be like, they tired. I'm like, damn, y'all only did like, y'all ain't do too much to be tired. I can show you tired, you know what I'm saying? But no shame. But what was the last thing I wanted to say? It was something about there was another question you had about the open positions. Luke, with all these open positions, why don't throw the application out there?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I mean, got a lot of positions open. Oh well, and your answer maybe could be a part of why some of these positions are vacant because a lot of times they be underpaid positions, especially for hitting band positions. So that's one reason why I think a lot of positions open. But then a lot of cases, I don't know. Especially when you threw me for a loop when you said PWIs too, because I don't really pay attention to a lot of them like talking about it. But if they open, like I wonder why a PWI position open. Like, so what you think the cause of it?
Hold up, real quick. All right. Oh, Quan, were you about to say something before I say something?
Yeah, I was just about to say a lot of those, not all, but some of the PWI positions that I've seen, either those people have either retired or they've transitioned to do like something else. Like I seen one position that was open at an institution, and the person basically transitioned. They work with like the Philharmonic, the Boston Philharmonic,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of those positions for those PWIs, you got to have the credentials to get them.
Facts.
And some of those schools will actually create fellowship programs for you to attain them. That's why I'm telling you, you're gonna see a new wave of African American and Latino conductors that are going to be at PWIs. They have music initiative projects that are slated specifically for new repertoire for wind band for people of color. I'm telling you, and they're paying for you to go to school. So that's the new lick, bro.
And so I do want to say too. Well, I actually wanted to go back to a couple of things that you said before I get to the question that you did ask. So the first thing is, I remember last time we talked, like I told you before, as long as you got a default to something, that's it can be jazz. That's cool. I'm not saying it has to be concert band. I've never said that. But like I said, it just default to something different. That's the first thing. I think the second thing too is you were talking about the small concert bands are typically pretty small. If you have a really big band, so like if you have a band of like maybe 120, 150, so on and so forth kids, 9 times out of 10, the reason why the group is small is you may have your better players in the top band, but you may have the not so good players in the lower band, and that is to help build them up to that next level. So those things are available for kids to be able to progress to the next level, and they may not be in that top group, but they may be in the top group the following year because of the fact that they took advantage of being in the lower ensemble that was able to build them up to the next level. And then also, obviously I believe in teachable moments. I think there are teachable moments in almost everything that you do. But with that being said, I think that when we're looking at levels of concert music or wind literature versus marching band literature, I think there's a difference. You can find maybe somebody writing 16th notes in their marching band arrangement. It ain't a whole bunch of people doing that though. I mean, if you just want to keep it honest, a succession of 16th notes in marching band music, you're not gonna find that. Or sextuplets, you're not gonna find that. It's just not gonna happen. But you'll find those things probably in your wind literature. You'll find different meters in your wind literature. You're not necessarily going to always find that in your marching band. So yes, teachable moments can happen in the marching band world, but the other half of that is there's a level of education that you can receive, or there's a level of information that you can receive from the wind literature side as well. Then you also said, which I thought was pretty funny, but it kind of was a slap in the face too. Not necessarily me, but I'm just saying in general, like, you tired? What you been doing? I ain't seen you. So I think the part about that is, and I've said that, and I've said this on a couple of occasions, that just because that person is not always out in front doesn't mean there's not work happening. You know, there are a lot of situations where, and I've seen this happen, you know, even I myself, when my first year starting at the charter school, I wanted to build my kids up to some type of level before I put them out there, you know, and that within itself takes a lot of work. Preparing those kids, being able to get those kids into a mindset, getting them disciplined on what it is to be a musician, what it is to be a band member, you know, even just setting up small performances around the school or in the neighborhood. Even that alone is a lot of work, you know. And then if you're like me, my first year with that charter school, and typically my first year with any school, I don't ever do the official festival, but I do the pre-festivals in the springtime. So preparing for that too, pre-festival, because you want to, you know, put those kids in those particular situations to be able to do those pre-festivals so they can get those experiences. So that within itself is a lot. And then the normal wear and tear on your body that you deal with as a teacher too. So, you know, I think that within itself is, yeah, even though you don't see them a lot, they tired too now. You know, give them a little grace. And then the last thing that you asked me about those positions. So the reason why me specifically, I have not applied for some of those positions is because what I'm doing now, I really, really enjoy doing. And, you know, I'm able to use the other half of my degree. So a lot of people don't know that I have a music education degree, but at Norfolk, I mean, I don't know if they still doing it in Norfolk. They probably are, but my music education degree is also with media. And so my final year in Norfolk, I was able to learn, you know, sound and videography and lighting and recording and stuff like that. So I'm able to now use that half of my degree in what I do with my church. And right now that's fun for me. And that's not to ever say that I'm never going to get back into the teaching realm again. I'm not saying that at all. But right now I just really enjoy, you know, what I'm doing. And, you know, now
I got two things real quick. Let me say something real quick. You go to the realm there.
I want to finish this. I'll let you get to it. Will I put apps out? Yeah, I'll put apps out, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna, like, if I get called for the interview, I'll do the interview and stuff. But that doesn't mean I'm like gung ho on taking it unless it really, really is worth it. And most of the time, most of the positions that are out right now is requiring me to move. And, you know, that's a whole nother situation. Moving, like I saw one position that was open in West Virginia. Am I ready to move my whole family to Old Mountain, West Virginia? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's happening. But will I apply for it? Sure, I'll apply for it. If they give me an interview, will I take it? Absolutely. You know, I'm not going to turn down an interview, and I'm not going to sell myself short. Those are the two things I'm not going to do. But as of right now, I really enjoy what I'm doing. But go ahead.
All right. What I'm gonna challenge you to do something. I thought about this a while back, but now that it dawned on me, we had a conversation about like credentials and who you are, and always the guy behind the scenes that just don't say much. You ever thought about doing band reactions?
I've thought about it, and I've opted out of doing it. I
think you should. I think you should for multiple reasons, because it'll be a lot of people who don't, what they don't want here, but your reasoning and your expertise can hit different than a lot of reactors. You know what I'm saying? You got the credentials, like who this guy is talking, but just some of the stuff you would say, even simply just like breaking down a field show or breaking down the same stuff we talk about in the show, and it's still what you do. You're using your second half of the degree. You can do this fancy stuff. You can damn sure do a band reaction. I think you should do band reaction. I think it's needed from your perspective. I think people would love to to hear what it is. And even if you do something simple like your top field show of the week, but your traction will get crazy simply off of one year former college band director. No college band. I don't know no band directors doing reactions. Like you are of the culture and everything that you say can be different. And if it's somebody who do band media, a big name in this shit, I think that you should do it. I think you should consider it. One, you're telling a girl stupid. Because when you start talking that talk about like, well, I would have did this, or you give a crazy backstory, or if it's a Norfolk show, you can tell everybody about like what y'all did versus what they did and how you mixed it, even with your conference. So I think you should reconsider doing band reactions this fall, or even if it's not reactions, just critiques, or like just putting your name, putting your face or your voice out there in the space and seeing what it does. Because everything you have to say, be thinking, I don't think it will be harmful, but also it's coming from a place of this person did it on all levels. I think you should do that.
So, to respond to that, so the reason why, and to kind of go back a little bit, the way that this show came about was me and Rick coming together and deciding that we wanted to create a show. Originally, it was going to be reactions, and we talked about this on the show before. The original topic for the show was called Yes or Mess. That was the original reaction for the show. It was called Yes or Mess. We had actually recorded, because it wasn't going to be YouTube, it was going to be straight to podcast. We had actually recorded, it was TSU and Southern, I think. I want to say about 2-3 years ago. No, not 3 years ago, because it was pandemic. It was pre-pandemic. I remember that. And then after pandemic, or during the pandemic, or whatever, I can't remember how it happened, but I opted not to do it because everybody started doing reactions, and I was like, I'm not trying to super saturate the market with reactions. So I just didn't want to be that person doing the same thing that I see at least at minimum 8 to 10 people that's already doing it. So that was the reason why I opted out of doing reactions. Now, let me say this: you did issue it as a challenge.
There we go. That talk. Yep.
So what I will do is this. I'm gonna look at what we look at as far as planning out the shows within the next 2 to 3 weeks. But I will do one. I will do one. Just one. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Man, listen, you talk about traction and building this thing up. I know for sure, whatever, if you do a reaction on like one a week, you know how many views you'll get? Like simply off, you're gonna be saying stuff that nobody is saying, like, KB, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? He give his opinion, but even to be some stuff like even he don't know, like even the Roger bro, everybody don't know something, and you could build an audience simply off of saying some musical terms and like really breaking it down and giving an example of what you would have did or what you think, I think that's something that you need to look into. You might do one and that traction get crazy. It's a sign you need to be doing. I think you can do it in the fall, and that will also promote this show. And I think people won't hear where you coming from, and you could change the ball game up. React to some damn some PWI shows. React to something different. You know what I'm saying? Like how you called out Alcorn playing the damn Power Rangers. Giving that a reaction to that'd have been crazy, because you could talk about the balance and blend. Crazy. Your resource, Drew, one of your former students. People don't know that. Incredible source. Drew, this guy here. Oh yeah, he woo the woo. I'm telling you, Luke, missing out. Take it from me. He's missing out on a whole wave of supporters in the bag. I'm just letting you know. But yeah, I think you should do it, Doc. I think you should.
Like I said, you issued the challenge, so that's one thing I'm gonna always do is try to make sure I step up to the plate and uphold the challenge. So, like I said, I don't mind doing it. I'll do one. I'll do one. As a matter of fact, not only will I do one, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go into my my final cut. I'm gonna chop it up. try to make it look super clean, and then there it is, and I'll do it like that.
I appreciate. I take it. You always throw me challenges. That's one for you. I'm telling you. I'm reposting like, hey, check this out. It's different right here. It's different. And you get all. I'm telling you. Watch it. Mark my word on this show. You gonna get crazy views for it. I'm telling you. But that's my time. I can't come to the conference, man. I'm actually booked in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, what Richmond like, y'all? I'm hearing all kind of stuff.
The murder capital of the world. Hey, of course, stop.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
My wife from Richmond, so I can.
And it's not like that no more. Don't do that.
All right, it's worse. All right, I got you.
It is a lot to do, Justin. I'm from Richmond. His wife is from Richmond. It's listen. I can send you some tips, some stuff, some places to go, places to eat. Now it's like every city. It's certain places you just shouldn't go. But it's fine. It's a nice city.
I will tell you this. The roads suck. They do.
I'm from New Orleans. I mean, it can't be too bad.
That's true. Never mind. But no. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The parts and the places that I've been in Richmond is cool. It's cool. My wife always be taking me to all the eatery places. I guess that's why I'm big. But yeah, she be taking the place her and her family, like, was it Short Pump? There we go. Stay out there in Short Pump. It's a lot of stuff out there though. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. You ain't gonna go out there and get shot as long as you in the right area.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm hearing different mixed reviews, but I'm out there for that weekend is a big old dance battle out there. So yeah, I'm for that. The same weekend as the down conference. So articles.
Yeah, man. Get with Poster. She'll get you right, man. It's straight out there. You'll be cool. It's a little boring, but you'll be all right. Hey man, I gotta throw it out there, man. My bad. All right.
All right, remember how that y'all later, man.
All right, bro.
All
right, man. It's time to wrap it up. Once again, I do want to make sure I say this announcement again. Next week we will not have a show on Wednesday. I'm gonna be asleep all Wednesday, preparing because I'm driving. So I'm driving. Hey, Poster, look at here. I'm driving. There's a reason why I'm driving though, and y'all will find out that reason once I arrive. But yeah, so I'm gonna be asleep all Wednesday to prepare for that drive. But yeah, we will be in ATL at the HBCU Band Directors Consortium. Yes, we will be going to some of the sessions, a lot of the sessions. But there are some other things that we're gonna also be doing. We're gonna have a time to get out and go hang out. So if you guys are in the area and want to come hang out with us and chill with us, man, we'll put that information out there. I gotta get like where these places are too, man. I ain't set that up yet because I ain't been to Atlanta since when was the last time I went to Atlanta? The last Honda I went to. The last Honda that I was at with PV's year. What was that? 2016, 2017?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that was the last time I've been to Atlanta. So yeah. So yeah, we will be there, man. So and like I said, our joint is at 9 a.m. So we will not be doing a show on Friday. It will be at 9 a.m. on Saturday, actually. So just look for that notification. Make sure that you subscribe to the Passions Network, turn on notifications. As soon as you see that joint pop up, boom, you're there. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get ready to get on out of here. Quan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture? Is he still alive in there? Quan went home and got in the bed, Lord. God dang. Either that or he's talking. And
we can't hear him.
We can't hear him. Smith's daddy. Oh wait, he on mute. All right, now can you talk now? Oh yeah, it's just like this. You're muted. Now unmute. Now talk. Yeah, Smith's daddy. You gotta hit to come out and go back in. All right, Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Educators are superheroes, and without y'all, I don't know what we would do. So continue. If that is your calling, I pray for your strength. I pray for your tenacity, because it could not be me. And I think you guys are awesome.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Why is Quan calling me? Hold on. I don't know if y'all heard him. He said, "Guys, good, and we tired." There we go. Yeah, man. I don't know if I guess I want to. Should I announce this, y'all? About no. Okay, I won't. I just leave it where it is. All right, man. So then if that's the case, man, we ain't got nothing else, man. This has been a super dope show. This has been super great. Hey, man, if you're out there, you're doing your thing, you're teaching. Once again, like I said before, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't want to teach no more. I don't want to be in front of them kids. I don't want to continue to be creative in front of them. Trust me when I tell you I do. But right now, I just personally have found something that I just truly enjoy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right. But, man, if you're out there and you're still doing it, man, I support you 100%. I'm going to support you as much as we can. We're going to support you as much as we can. Keep doing the thing. Keep getting out there fighting, man. And, hey, if there are positions open up, I don't care what you're doing right now, man. As an educator or somebody, I'm always put myself out there, and I will always tell you all to do the same thing. I know Miss Sanders said the same thing on last show that we had, and I definitely agree with her. Put yourself out there, put those applications out there, take those interviews, man. You never know when you're gonna find a diamond in the rough, and or you never know when you're gonna find the place where you're supposed to be, man. Other than that, man, I ain't got nothing else. This has been great. Please make sure on the way out you click that like button. Also, if you're watching this on playback, you can click that like button, and you can also comment. Typically, I read those comments, and if I feel the need to, I'll go back and answer it. Other than that, man, we ain't got nothing else. We will see you guys on next week, Saturday. All right.